everyone, and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 23rd of October 2023. Yes, it's Gary here again, and well, what a start. The messiah that Philipe Clement is had as Rangers manager, he says, not getting ahead of himself at all. But that was just incredible, wasn't it? That was exactly what the doctor ordered. Something that you've seen across the world in football, of course. When a new manager takes over, that the existing squad who have been failing miserably under the previous regime end up turning it on and doing something special, and that's exactly what we managed to enjoy there on the weekend. I did joke about it during the game that Michael Beale must have been watching that game or following the results or seeing the highlights or whatever it was he did and kind of cursing the team a wee bit, as this is the exact same players that he just couldn't get a tune out of, who suddenly looked fitter, looked hungrier, looked faster, and absolutely more motivated, more driven than we've seen them this season for sure, and for long spells last season as well. And I tell you what, that Philippe Clement has that already, that kind of aura of a Rangers manager, doesn't he? Just standing there. I mean, he's a big lad, and he's a very imposing figure on the sideline. But one thing that really got me, and I was actually quite surprised the cameras didn't pan to him a wee bit more during the game, especially with it being Rangers TV feed, that I thought we would get a wee bit more Philippe for our money kind of thing. But when they did pan, he was animated. He was reacting to the game. He was supporting his players. He was talking to his players, and it seemed to be, from the way that the team was set up, the way that they actually performed the tasks, that they actually understood what they were supposed to be doing, which is a godsend. It's something that we haven't been used to, especially this season, and and to the point that a lot of the players that the fans have grown to be very frustrated with, very disgruntled with, were performing very, very well in the game, and that's really all we want as fans. And I think I'll talk about this a wee bit later as well. We just want the team to show up and play with pride, and drive and strive to do the very best they can for the jersey in every single game. And Todd Cantwell, I had mentioned it last week, the Todd Cantwell interview that he did on one of the podcasts that he was a guest on, and he said along the lines of a version of that Rangers fans, they love their football, and they love players who care. They love people who care. And it looked like everyone, woke from their weird slumber that they were in and put on their big boy trousers and decided it was time to care and put in an actual genuine Rangers performance. And what a difference! Absolutely, what a difference it really made. And I thought it was excellent. So let's get to the game segment for this week. One game, of course, the one I've just been gushing over there, and it was indeed Saturday's excellent 4-0 win at home against Hibs, with two goals from Abdullah Sima, a debut goal, I believe, not a debut goal, his first goal for Nico Raskin, and then, get this one, a goal from Cyril Dessers as well. And I think that's his fourth goal of the season, but he's just had such a hell of a time of it, hasn't he? And, so it was great to see. I wouldn't say, honestly, in reflection, it was an absolutely flawless performance, but look what happens when we're just hungrier than the opposition. We're just better than them, and I've said that for a long time, that if we show up and we do our jobs to a reasonable standard, say a 7 or an 8 out of 10, then we win the vast majority, almost every single game we play in domestically anyway. It's just a fact. We're just better than the opposition when we play to our strengths. But for whatever reason, the squad under Michael Beale and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst for that matter just didn't seem to be able to play to their strengths, didn't seem to understand what they were doing, didn't seem to be able to rise to the occasions that were put in front of them. So if Philippe Clement can get us to a point where we're actually doing that more consistently, and that's all he was saying. He said that consistently over the 3 or 4 interviews that I had listened or watched of his leading up to the game, then I think we'll be in absolutely great shape. It was just it was just so bad under Beale at the end, wasn't it? That we just couldn't even, have like put in a reasonable performance, which is so bizarre from a professional footballer perspective. Positives from the game, the result, of course, the performance, the passion, the crowd reaction, the tifo that was there before the game started, and then just the atmosphere carrying right into the game. The goals were excellent as well. Each one of them were absolutely superb, as was the lasagna soup that Hammy made us all for breakfast at Pin Bar as well. That was yummy. And I thought that everyone did their part, really truly, in the game, and everyone played well. Sima is just getting better and better and better, and what a difference from the beginning of the season. I mean, he's been consistently among the goals, certainly of late for sure, and I don't think he got off to a bad start, but there were some performances at the beginning of the season where he just looked like a baby giraffe, just kind of stumbling around, couldn't really kind of find his feet and couldn't control the ball and stuff, and you're like, what's going on? And he is ruthless right now, and the two goals that he scored, I thought truly smacked of someone who's just so hungry to get goals and celebrate. With that big, amazing, smashing smile that he has as well. And I saw a headline, I actually didn't read the article on the Rangers website, but I saw a headline that he said it's just the best feeling to score at Ibrox, and you can tell that the boy's really enjoying himself right now, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Nico Raska's first goal for the club, or maybe it was his first goal at Ibrox. I think it was actually his first goal for the club, though. I thought it was excellent finish. We could have got a free kick just before it, and then he took the ball, and I thought Marshall in their goal was maybe a wee bit slow getting to it, but maybe he was a wee bit blinded or a wee bit covered by the defender in front of him. But he was a wee bit slow getting down there. Todd Cantwell coming back and seemingly just rolling himself back to his form for last season, just with a bit of a virtuoso performance, and that absolutely incredible pass to Dessers for his goal, and he did the wee deke thing, and then Marshall couldn't even get to, and he just kind of passed it into the net. But that was a brilliant pass, and I watched it so many times on replay, and I'm like, did he look? And then I watched it again. I watched just the highlights yesterday, just as I was preparing for the pod today, and it looks like he had a wee look from the side of his left hand side. Just kind of took a wee the tiniest of looks. I didn't actually see that on Saturday, but I saw it on Sunday, and it was just an absolutely brilliant pass. It just takes everyone at the game when you can do a pass like that. And great, just absolutely great to see Dessers getting his goal, because he has had a hell of a time of it. So hopefully this particular goal and the reaction from the fans, and then the reaction he got when Clement took him off, and not long after that, is hopefully something that's going to get him going. Because quite honestly, like, we as Rangers fans, we don't want to dislike any other player. Actually, that's not true. Alec Liddell, the VP of the Rangers Supporters Club of Calgary, always has an enemy in the team, and we're not 100% sure who it is right now. It's been Dessers, but usually he picks someone and kind of sticks with him for quite some time. But other than Alec, I don't think every one of us Rangers fans want to dislike any of our players, but we really don't. But when things aren't going the way that we want them to go, then our human nature kicks in, and then we start to try and search for who's at fault. And to be very fair to Dessers, he was one of almost double figures in numbers of players who were just dragging us down and dragging their feet, dragging their arse. So it wasn't just all him anyway, but great to see him on the score sheet. He loved his goal. He's been plugging away. Had a wee bit of a hand in Seema's first goal as well, just kind of making a nuisance of himself before Seema ran away and smashed it home as well. So getting involved there, which is good as well. Great to see Danilo back as well with that giant mask. That's only a few weeks back that he got that injury, and he's back playing again already. That's brilliant. And do you know what? I thought John Lundstrom had a really good game as well. I wasn't 100% sure how Clement was going to take to him, but he put in one of those, those calm, assured, like almost casual performances where he's just absolutely strolling it, and I thought he did well. And it's great to see, of course, young McCausland getting even more game time as well, and not looking out of place at all when he comes on as well. So yeah, really, really positive overall. Negatives, you know what? Not many, to be honest. I could sense a wee bit of a collective grown from the support when we saw the starting lineup and Scott Wright was named in the starting 11. But I think that was more out of necessity more than anything else. And Clement did talk about the fact these players are going to be playing because we do have a lot of injuries and that they're going to get a chance to prove themselves. He might have had half an eye on this week's games, this Thursday's game in particular, and maybe this week's games in entirety, just in terms of who he was going to try and play. Another negative, I don't know. I mean, and Wright did okay. You kind of know what you're going to get with him, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Another negative would be Borna Barisic getting injured so early on. That was a bit of a downer, to be really honest. And with Rid van Yilmaz not being named in our Europa League squad, things could get a little bit funky here, a little bit strange for Thursday if Borna doesn't recover in time. So hopefully it was maybe just precautionary, because I didn't even see what happened. They didn't even show very much in terms of replays, not that I've seen anyway. So hopefully nothing too serious there. In terms of the stats, this kind of surprised me actually. We only had 53% possession in the game, which if I was to hazard a guess, I would have said it was like 75 or more percent. But yeah, 53% possession, and I checked out over a couple of apps just in case the Rangers website got it a wee bit wrong, but it seems to be there or thereabouts in terms of the possession. So just over half. We did have 16 shots on target, on goal, sorry, with 9 on target to Hibs' 3 on goal and just the 1 on target, and that was very early on in the game as well. So yeah, very competent, very compact, very efficient performance from us. On the referee watch, Don Robertson is an incredibly inconsistent referee, to the point that you literally have no clue what you're going to get from the guy. VAR did what they had to do for each of the major decisions that came up when they were doing the reviews, and I think they got every one of those spot on. But it just seems that for every correct decision Robertson makes, he'll get 2 wrong either side of it, and it just frustrates everybody. Both sets of fans must be scratching their head thinking, what's this clown up to? And he seems oblivious, the guy. Every time I see his name on the referee sheet or the official sheet to be refereeing a game for us, I just get this collective knot in my stomach where I'm like, you've no clue what this guy's going to do. He wants to be the star of the show. He stops it for nothing. He lets it go when he shouldn't. Like, it's just everything that's wrong. Like, see if you did the opposite of what you actually do in the games, you would be a better referee. So see when you think to blow the whistle, don't blow it. See when you think, oh no, that's okay, blow the whistle. Maybe try that and see how you do. So for that, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. He's just annoying. I don't like it. So yeah, that's what he's that's what he's getting. 2 games for us this week. The first one is our 3rd game in the Europa League group stage, and then we have another big home league match against an Edinburgh team on the weekend. So the first one is, of course, away to Sparta Prague this Thursday, October the 26th, and that's a 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. So just a note, I think this is the last of the early kickoffs in the Europa League. I could be wrong about that, but I thought there was 2 in a row, and then the rest were back to kind of more normal times. So that's a 5:45 p.m. UK kickoff time, and after the Limassol performance and more importantly the result, it is very, very important for us to get back in amongst the points in this game, and I'm hoping that we can do just that. 1 at least, 3 at best would be great, Philippe. And then our second game is at home to Hearts on Sunday the 29th of October, and that's a regular 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. in the UK. You'll have saw their result yesterday. They got smashed by the lesser half of the Old Firm on their own ground, so this one should be easy, correct? That's the way that it works, isn't it? No, not really, not when Rangers are involved. So hopefully Clement has them on high alert to make sure that we can continue to take advantage of the fine form that we showed in the first game from that. And of course this one is a dress rehearsal for the League Cup semi-final that's coming up a week later as well. So a lot to play for, and there'll be some kind of tactics and strategy in there, I am sure. For RTV, I didn't hear of any problems from RTV on the weekend. There was a couple of folks that had mentioned some buffering and stuff, but I think it was just a system reboot, and then off they went. We had one wee bit of it minute in Calgary, and that can kind of happen as well. So we'll see what that looks like over time. On the shout outs, firstly, I'd like to send out big congratulations to Joe Potter and the Rangers women's team on their come from behind victory against Celtic women's team yesterday in a game that was live on Sky Sports. And the poignancy of this one is it takes them 1 point clear at the top of the league table, having played the same amount of games as Celtic, and this will hopefully be a bit of a springboard to more success for the women's team again this season. You know, they enjoyed the league championship a couple of seasons ago, and then just fell at the final hurdle when they had it in their hands last season as well. And it just seems to be, you know, I've mentioned on this pod before, I don't always pay too much attention. I have been, the more that I'm trying to make up content for the pod this last wee while, but you know, it always seemed to be that they would basically trounce every other team, and then they would just come up short against Celtic and Glasgow City. But they are unbeaten. I think it's 11 games in now. They're unbeaten, and they've won all but one of them and drew, and that was a draw against Glasgow City itself. So they are clear atop the league table now. So hopefully that's a great sign of things to come from them. On a wee bit of a more sombre note, I just wanted to pass on NARSA's condolences to the family of Sir Bobby Charlton, who died on the weekend there. Actually, I think everybody got the notification as the game was being played, actually, and he was 86 and an absolute legend and an icon of the game, and someone that I don't think you could hear a bad word from anyone about as well. He was just he seemed to be a genuine nice guy, a nice legendary guy, and obviously an icon of Manchester United. And I think it came as a wee bit of a surprise, because I don't know that anybody knew that he was actually sick in any way. So sincere condolences from everyone at NARSA to Sir Bobby Charlton's family and friends, of course. So do you know what? See, also from a shout out perspective, this is my last full week of full-time employment. I think I've kind of flirted with telling you a wee bit about this over the last wee while, but as of this week, I've got 2 days next week. My contract finishes on the 31st of October, and then I'm going to go fully independent as a full-time coach, full-time entrepreneur. I'm going to get into the self-education industry. I'm going to be writing courses. I'm going to be delivering courses, hopefully get to speak at conferences and do a whole bunch of things like that. And I'm also going to really get back into my podcasts on the kind of business side of life as well. So what that should hopefully mean is that I can dedicate a wee bit more of my free time to Rangers stuff and to NARSA stuff, and really get back on track and make sure things are absolutely ticking along and doing the best we can for our membership as well. So hopefully, maybe not next week, you might not see a difference next week, but as the weeks go on from there, then hopefully you'll get to see a wee bit more of an investment and a little bit more of quality and everything that we are doing. From a convention perspective, we did receive the first of our proposals from one of the properties down in Kissimmee, and it was the Gaylord Palms, the resort we actually stayed at, which was just absolutely incredible. So we're going to spend some time going through it. Took a cursory glance at it last night and sent it to the convention subcommittee, and we'll see how it goes. There's certain things that look great on it, and there's certain things that don't look so great on it, and that's what you get with the first draft of any of the contracts that I've ever received. So we'll get a chance to receive the other ones. I believe there might be another one coming today, and then I think we'll that from the two kind of main properties, and then we'll get a chance to digest both, compare both together, get on the phone with Rangers, and then get back to the folks over at Experience Kissimmee, and then decide what we're going to do from there. But yeah, things are becoming a wee bit more real on that one, and we'll just see what happens over the next wee while. But hopefully we'll get that wrapped up here at some point over the next month or so, I guess. On the communication section, not a whole hell of a lot from a communication perspective this week. But on the Gers guide, they did publish it today, and I'll just leave out the stuff from today like I did last week. Tomorrow, I did want to actually mention the loan review. I don't know if anybody who's listening actually reads the loan reviews every week, but they're actually pretty entertaining to find out who's doing what, how they're doing and stuff like that, because we've got a couple of high profile loans. The ones I'm really caring about, quite honestly, are Alex Lowry over at Hearts and Yanis Hadji over at Alaves, I think it is, and just to see how they're doing. So, but that comes out. That's going to get published tomorrow on the Rangers website. On Wednesday, there's a press conference for the Sparta game, and on Thursday, of course, is the Sparta game itself. And then on Friday is the press conference for the Hearts game. Nothing on Saturday, and then of course the game against Hearts. There's no women's game this week. I believe it's the international break for the women's teams this weekend coming. So just another reminder that we do have the tickets for the Heart and Hand live show at Edmiston House, which is coming up on Friday the 1st of December. I did say last week I was going to chat with the communications crew that we have, and I did ask the question, and I think the conversation went pretty cold pretty quickly, and I think Chris came back with a bit of a joke, and then it just went kind of quiet. So that's an actual reminder to me as I say that out loud now, that I should actually go back and see what we want to do about that. And if for anybody who also subscribes to and listens to the daily update on Heart and Hand, you'll have heard that David mentioned today that they've added a 9-in-a-row legend and superstar to their roster for the December the 1st show. So he's going to be a great addition. I'll let David tell you exactly who it is. He's put it out there as a bit of a surprise for right now, but I know for a fact if you're planning to go, you will not be disappointed. Very, very good value for money. And I wanted to finish off a wee bit with I'm not surprised, but I'm just disappointed kind of message to the Hibs fans. I mean, they're just disgusting, and almost as disgusting as their full fat versions from the East End of Glasgow, where they were defacing seats and such with some disgusting filth, mocking the Ibrox disaster and the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. They're just absolute Neanderthals. Rangers came out and quite severely condemned it straight away, and then Hibs also did the same and said they would be working with us to do something. I thought that would have been a police matter. I thought that was illegal now, but nobody seemed to mention the police. Maybe we'll hear a bit more about that as we go forward. But just absolute scum, disgusting ratbags they are. You know, just support your team, do what you need to do, but leave all that garbage in your warped brain, you clowns. Anyway, on that positive note, that will do it for this week. A wee bit of a shorter one this week, my friends. And as always, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you very, very much for taking the time to listen. Please do pass it on to whomever you think might enjoy it, and we can try and grow this community together. Until next week, let's hope that Philipe Clement can continue to have a solid and positive influence over our team and get us, as I mentioned earlier, at least 1 point, but ideally 3 in Prague on Thursday. Until next week, my friends, please do take care of yourself, okay, and all the very best. Cheerio.